Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to this kind of introduction episode to the LocoCast. There were a few years ago, I had done a LocoCast for a little bit, but that was in a time when I wasn't at my best, so I didn't really take a hold of it and keep going. But I am starting up again now that I am in a better place mentally, and I'm ready to get this ship rocking. Now, this is just this episode is going to kind of just be an introduction to let you know what the podcast is going to be like, to give you an idea about who I am and how everything's going to work. So, I will start by telling you, hi, I'm Elijah. I go by Loco Lizard Man on pretty much everything, and I I love games. I love everything about games. I stream. I love talking about them. I love playing. I love the intricacies of how they're made. Friends always joke about how I don't have the best memory, but when it comes to developers and publishers and like who worked on games, I have an almost encyclopedic knowledge. And if I don't know what studio made a game, like I have to look it up because I'm so curious. That's a big thing. I love those little details. But yes, also I stream. I'll just put it out there. I won't. I mean, I'll do this at the end of episodes. I'll put out. I stream at twitch.tv/LocoLizardman. I mainly just do it for fun. I love playing. I love hanging out with people. Now, as for this podcast, there are a couple things, a couple details I'm going to get into. First off, at least as of right now, there is going to be no set schedule. I'm doing this for fun. Probably not going to have too many listeners. So this is all just purely for fun and to have a good time and to talk about things. So I'm not going to have a set schedule. I'm not going to have a set one comes out every week on this day. I was a member of a podcast for a long time that, I still absolutely love those guys. It was Frameskip Podcast. And I was starting to get worn out for a few different reasons. And I think one of them was just we record every this day at this time, which, as much as I'd love to do that, just with my job not having a set end time for the day, it sometimes got too crazy for me to just come home and right away, like, depending on what time, like, guys, can you hold up like 15 minutes? I'm going to be a little late, but I can get there, stuff like that. And then just getting in the door, just dropping whatever I have in my hands and turning on my computer. And sometimes it ate at me a little too much, and I'm not going to do that to myself. So some months I will put out one episode. Other months, maybe I'll put out 6. It's when I want to do this when I'm feeling my best. I want to do this when you can have me at my best. So at the moment, there's no set schedule. I am also going to be doing some special episodes that will be, well, to give you an idea. The first one I have planned to make is all about how Bloodborne literally helped change who I am as a person. And I don't mean just in gaming, I mean in life in general. So, different special episodes like that I will be doing. But the main gist of what each episode is going to be is I'll be talking maybe about a snippet of news here and there if it's something special that pertains to me. That's another thing. I'm not going to just talk about any old news that's going down, because I don't want to talk about something that I don't have very intricate feelings about or am very in tune to. So like, oh, a new Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom trailer dropped. I wouldn't really have anything to say. So I'm not going to force myself to talk about it because I wouldn't be able to. Meanwhile, if when the new Lollipop Chainsaw trailer drops, I'll talk about that because that's something I'm passionate about, something I know, something that I can talk about happily and freely and with actual details behind. So there will be the occasional snippet in news. But a big thing I am going to talk about is what I've been playing. Occasionally what I've been watching, if it's something that I think I really want to talk about. But a lot of like what I've been playing, and then I'm going to end each episode with here's a game coming out that I'm super excited for. And just to build up, these are the games I'm interested in. Maybe watch out for them. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? I don't know, but they have my interest. So that's kind of what it is going to be like each episode. So I figured we'll start out a little bit with some things I have played recently. One of the games I've played is I've replayed through The Last of Us Part 1. Now, specifically, for the first time, I played through the PlayStation 5 version. And it definitely looks better and runs better. But one big thing is I didn't notice much of a change other than that. Like, the gameplay still felt very similar to the gameplay I experienced in The Last of Us 1. Like, the original one, I should say. And one thing that hasn't changed is it is a fantastic game. Fantastic story, characters. The gameplay is really good. There were a few times where I'm like, oh, this feels a little dated, but overall very good. And it continues to be a story I absolutely love and treasure. I've been watching the show. Episode 6 is out now, and every episode has had me ending with saying just, I love this show so much. They're capturing it very beautifully. I'm not going to get into too much detail right now, because I figured I might do like a spoiler cast when the whole show has ended. But I have loved my time replaying that game. I got the platinum in part 1, and I've loved my time replaying it. Another game I've been playing, and I should say played through, I got one of the endings for, is a game called Children of Silent Town. This is a little indie game with such a unique art style that I absolutely adored about it. And the idea is there are kids in this village, and I shouldn't even say just kids, but people in this village, and you don't go out because you can hear like the monsters at night in surrounding areas and such. So you don't leave the village. Only during the daytime can you go out a little bit, and that's usually when people like go for some food or whatever. But only adults, and oftentimes you leave, you don't come back. And it was a really neat game of the main character's discovery of, I want to leave town because I want to find what happened to a family member, and discovering the truth about what happens when you leave town. It's puzzle based, which normally I'm not the best at, and admittedly I did have to look up a guide a few times, but I'd say that's more on me than on the game, just because I'm not very good at that type of game. So I'm not gonna put that against it or anything. Yeah, I think that's everything for this first episode. This is just to give you a little taste, a little teaser of what things are going to be like. On the next regular episode, I will be talking about Atelier Ryza, and I should say the first one, Atelier Ryza, Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout, and Wanted Dead. And I'll probably talk a little bit about Power Wash, and depending on when I record the episode, maybe the new Dead by Daylight DLC will be out, maybe it won't. And I'll also talk about my relationship with Dead by Daylight and how that all got started. It's something very near and dear to me. But this is just a taste of what the LocoCast will have in it, and like I said, I'm just doing this for fun. I have some ideas for like very big ideas I want to do that will require a lot of time, effort, and I want to I want to make sure that this comes out well. Like, this whole thing ends up well before I do all that. Not that I don't put time and effort in now, but oh, that is another thing I should have added earlier. These are going to be unscripted, because when I make a lot of scripted things, I mean, I'll take notes, like when I do my review for Wanted Dead, I will take notes on it. But I'm not going to like make an in-depth script for what I'm going to say, because I've done that before and it wears me down a lot. Especially because, like I said, I do this for fun. This isn't my job. I work at a warehouse that I never know when I'm going to get home. I don't have a set end time. So, especially during the summer, I have oftentimes don't get home until after 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. And I leave at about 8:20 to 8:30 a.m. So, I oftentimes don't have the time to do these big scripted things. So this show isn't going to be scripted. You're going to get some some moments of me saying something and then kind of like saying it again to get reacquainted with my ideas. My light just dimmed and that was very weird. I think I'm not going to say her name, but the A name that you can say is playing tricks on me. Probably is one of those, we recognize by this time your light is usually off or lower. But yeah, so thank you. If you listen to this first episode, let me know. I'm curious. I want to hear your thoughts on things you'd like me to do, on what you think of it, on where you would like me to go. I love doing this, and I'm doing it on my own terms for a change. So, for better or worse, that's what you get. And I just want to say, if you end up listening to this and thinking, oh, I don't think it's going to be that great, or whatever, that's perfectly okay. And any feedback you can give me will be helpful. So, thank you for listening. You will get a very real first episode very soon. But until then, good night, listeners. Good night.